Hello and welcome back. So we are back with another beginner yoga video and we're outside. So there's going to be lots of birdies, possibly some neighbours. You're going to focus on me and we're going to get through it. So everybody coming to your back, we're going to start with our bridges. Feet are about hip width apart, not the outside edges of your hips, but in line with your hip bones. And our feet are nicely rooted into the floor. Oh, we have pussycat. And I want you to think about grounding into your feet and really pushing down into them. So let's start with filling our belly first. So on your breath in, allowing your belly to fill and your hips to tilt forward. And on your breath out, tucking under, flattening your back. And we're not going to lift anything just yet. And then again, on your in-breath, filling your belly, allowing your hips to tilt forward. And on your out-breath, tucking under. And we're going to lift just our tailbone off the ground and feel our bum engage. And then reversing, filling your belly, breathing in. Notice yourself slipping down the mat and your head moves. On your out breath, tucking back under, and we're going to lift just a wee bit more. Gradually starting to warm our spine, starting to warm the muscles. And continuing to work with your breath. And we're lifting a wee bit more each time. Using your belly as you breathe in to fill, and on your out breath, tucking under, and gently, one breath at a time. Yes, Nana. I know. Nana agrees. Just work with your breath. And you're working your way, slowly, slowly, all the way up your spine. Depending what time of day it is, you may be more or less flexible. That's okay. Just work with where you're at today. You're less flexible in the mornings, more flexible in the afternoon. Your body has warmed up a bit. You might prefer to have your hands on the floor, and you can press into your hands if that allows you to have a wee bit more stability. But I want you to feel this in your bum, in the backs of your legs. You should be able to press into your feet. So thinking about your knees moving away from you. Working your way up towards your full bridge, wherever that might be. One vertebrae at a time. And everybody coming to your bridge. Now you can stay here. Or you can think about tucking your shoulders under to allow you more space, pushing your hips up towards the ceiling, towards the sky, rooting down into our feet. You should really feel this engagement in your bum, into your hamstrings, and then untucking your shoulders and gently lowering all of the way down to the ground. Lovely breath in. And on your out breath, you're tucking under again and working your way all the way up your spine to your full bridge. And we're going to stay here for a breath in, breath out, breath in again. Really send those hips up. And on your out breath, we're going to untuck our shoulders and lower all the way down. And we'll do that once more for good luck. You know, why not? Breath in. And on your out breath, tucking under. Slowly working your way up your spine to your full bridge. Tucking your shoulders under. Resting your arms on the floor or placing your hands to allow you more stability. Keep breathing. And on your out breath, untuck your shoulders and gently lowering all the way to the floor and bringing your knees in for a nice hug. Well done. After all of that, we're going to come back into a bridge of sorts. So again, feet are about hip width apart. I like to be able to brush the backs of my heels, but you do you. Make them, you want to feel it in the backs of your legs. If you don't feel these things in the backs of your legs, adjust your positioning. See what works. So we're only going to lift, not very much, a few inches off the floor. And we're going to move our hips from side to side in figures of 8. Maybe swinging, making circles. We're just loosening them back up again. I like to send one knee away. Can you work with one butt cheek at a time? So you're going to clench one, release the other, and then clench the other one and release the first. So you're alternating the muscles. They're one of the biggest muscles in your bum, in your body, in your bum too. So see if you can alternate that. What muscle control can you bring in? Good for your brain as well. Get things moving and giving them a nice rock, opening up, allowing that wave to travel up your spine. Allow a bit of freedom. And gently lowering all the way to the ground. And again, bringing your knees in for a hug and a roll around. You can even bring your head up. Give yourself a nice squeeze and relax. Let's try to roll up to sitting. So you can have your hands on your shins, on the backs of your thighs. You can cross at the ankle and hold your feet. Do what works for you. I personally always preferred to cross at the ankles and hold my feet. I think I've done it since I was a child. So I think that's where that's come from. But you do you. We like to bring our feet up above our head and gently rock up to sitting. And if you get a bit stuck, that's okay. Just get on up to sitting. Coming to sit, cross-legged. If you're like me, you'll always have one foot. Everybody does this. You'll always have one foot that rests in front of the other. It's just the way we're made. I want you to uncross and recross with your less dominant foot in. So for me, my left foot was always on the inside, so I'm crossing to make sure my right foot's on the inside. Just to help balance my body a bit. Hands resting lightly on our knees. We're going to grind. So that's moving in circles. We want to generate the movement in our hips, in our pelvis. We're aiming to loosen up our lower back and gently warm things up. If you would like to work with your breath, you breathe in to move forward, you breathe out to come back. As we come back, we're hollowing out our spine and we're really getting into a nice curve and tucking under. So, breath in to move forward and breath out to tuck under, rolling onto our bum, coming back. And just continuing to work with your breath. So breathing in, coming forward. Breathing out as you come back. Feel your chest open as you come forward. And close as you come back. And once more forward. And when you come back, I want you to change direction. Continuing to breathe. Breathing out as you come back. Nice, slow, inviting movements. Warming everything up. Lovely. Everybody coming back to center, coming up to sitting. Change the cross of your legs. Reaching up with your right hand. Both sit bones stay rooting down here. Reaching up with your right hand, left hand resting gently on the floor. I want you to lengthen up, up, up. Remember to lengthen the right side body. Reaching up and then gently coming over. Keeping that right sit bone rooting down the entire time. Thinking about drawing your shoulder blades together to help open your chest. And you can even look under your armpit, your right armpit, to help keep your chest open. So try not to collapse over. Think about drawing those shoulder blades together and down your back. And then breath in as you come back to center. And then reaching up and gently on your out breath, lengthening over. So lengthen that side body, don't just collapse over. Continue to reach up and gently over. That left sit bone stays rooting down. Draw those shoulders away from your ears. Keep on breathing. Now more than ever, very important to focus on getting breath into your body and coming back to center. Speaking of breath, we're just going to focus on our breath for a moment. I want you to try to breathe through your nose throughout your practice and try to slow your breath when you can. Obviously, when we're moving about, your breath will quicken. That's a given. But try to just take a moment and slow your breath and try to breathe deeply. I know there's a lot of things to think about, but you can try. So I'm breathing in. You notice my tummy fills. And as I breathe out, that hollows out. I breathe out up my chest. Breathing in and breathing out. This helps to calm your nervous system, helps to keep your immune system up. We want to do all the things we can. So think about breathing into your body, into your tummy. Try to self-soothe a wee bit. Also helps when you're trying to breathe and catch your breath in yoga, just to take a moment and slow down and breathe into your tummy. Now, on to our sun salutations. So onto your hands and knees. Right foot forward, press into that right foot. Come to standing. Now you're going to lose the tops of my arms again. That's just the way of it. Feet are about hip width apart. So under your hips, not the outside of your hips. So that's about maybe 2 fists. Feet hip width apart. And we're going to do our grounding to start. So coming forward on your toes. Notice your toes clench. Bring your weight back. And you're back onto your heels. Just continue to rock forwards and backwards until you can find a nice center point where your weight is evenly distributed. And then we're going to sway from side to side, easing our hips and also noticing how our weight shifts. Finding that center point. Bending our knees. We're going to tilt our pelvis forward, sticking your bum out, and then tucking under. Feel everything engage as you tuck under. Tilting forward again. Tucking under. If you're really extreme about it, you can feel everything clench. Then we're going to tilt once more. And then tuck under. Press into our feet. So our tuck isn't too intense. It's just that nice middle ground. Wee bit of engagement to help keep you strong. Feet into the floor. Now onto our shoulders. So let's roll our shoulders open, allowing your shoulder blades to draw down your back. Lovely. So allow them to draw down. Your palms are facing forward. Feet are rooting into the ground. This is your Tadasana. Standing nice and tall. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Your chin is level with the ground. And you have a string coming out of the top of your head, helping to draw you up. Think I'm walking around in class, just pretending to help you stand that bit taller. Lovely. Now breath in as you bring our hands up. And on your out breath, you're slowly folding forward. So big bend in my knees, and I'm bending at the hip and slowly pour myself over. And we're going to sway from side to side. You can alternate bending your legs. You can also have little bounces to help soften your lower back. Now coming back to center, giving your weight into your left foot. You're stepping back with your right. Hands to the floor. Bringing your foot back as far as you're able and lowering that knee to the floor. Hands to the inside. And we're going to roll around on that hip. So allowing the knee to move in and out. Opening the hip. Taking your time. I sometimes forget myself when I'm teaching and I end up speeding up. Slow down. Reversing your circle. You can allow your hands to move as you go. And your foot is rolling in and out. Lovely. Hands back to the floor, and we're bringing our left knee back. Knees are about 2 fists apart. Hands under shoulders, big sunflower hands. And you can tuck your toes or leave them flat, it's entirely up to you. Let's do our cat-cow. So on your out breath, you're tucking your tailbone down and arching your spine up towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Head's the last thing to drop. On your in-breath, allowing your tummy to fill. Allowing your spine to curve. And your head's the last thing. Then on your out breath, starting that movement in your pelvis, working your way up your spine. And again, on your in-breath, allowing your tummy to sink towards the ground. And you draw your shoulder blades together, pressing into your hands. And once more on your out breath. And continue on your in-breath. Lovely. Then letting a bit of movement in. Rolling around. Notice where you're aching today. Maybe you walk your hands from one side to the other. Maybe you come forward, opening your hips. Or you might take a rest in child's pose. You do you. You notice how you're feeling. Allow things to click and clunk into place. Mine definitely are. From here, we're going to lower onto our forearms. And we're going to lower all the way to the floor. You can move your knees back, gently lowering all the way to the floor. Keeping our forearms on the floor for now. Pressing your pelvis into the floor. And using that as you press down to come into your Cobra. We're staying in a nice low Cobra. Everybody lifting your arms. Give me some jazz hands. You should be pressing into the floor with your pelvis. That's really rooting down to allow you to come up. Think about drawing your shoulder blades together. Give me jazz hands. Keep breathing. Lovely. Everybody lowering down. Forearms to the floor. Forehead to the floor. Tuck your toes under. Lift with your bum. So you're lifting your bum first and reversing back. And we're going to just come back into our downward dog. So bringing that weight back over your heels. Your toes are tucked under. And we have a nice big spread hands. What are your hands doing? So spread those fingers. And you're rolling up into your downward dog. You can walk your hands forward if you need to. Bending alternate legs. Just to warm up. Drawing those shoulder blades down your back. Sending your hips up towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Everybody lowering onto your knees. Bringing your right foot forward. Hands to the inside of your right foot. And we're rolling around. Opening up. Remembering to take our time. Give our body some time to warm up. And changing the direction of your circle. Lovely. Framing your foot, so a hand on either side of your foot. Curl your back toes under. Lift that back knee. Step to the front of your mat. It might take a few steps to get here, that's okay. And then we're sinking our tailbone, bending our knees, and curling all the way up to standing. Now, breath in, Breath out as you fold forward, big bend in your knees, hands to the mat. Weight into our left foot as we step back with our right, lowering that knee to the floor. This time, you can leave your toes curled under or you can uncurl, pressing your weight into your left foot. On your in-breath, you're sweeping your hands back. On your out-breath, we're coming to sink into that front knee. Everybody think about drawing your left hip back and your right hip forward, and then leveling them off. So drawing that right hip up, left hip down slightly, so you feel a bit more engagement in your hips. You can breathe in to raise your arms. If your arms get tired at any point, you can always rest them. Looking forward. I'm going to stay here for another breath. And on your out breath, pressing into that front foot, folding forward, bringing your left foot back. And we are going to try to lower to knees, chin, chest. So our knees are already on the floor. You can come onto your forearms and lower down if this is too much. Or with your hands slightly forward, you're going to bring your weight forward, bending your elbows back as you lower. Knees, chin, chest. And from here you can scooch your legs back, or you can roll forward. So you could push your knees away to lower down or roll forward like I demonstrated. So pelvis into the floor. We're going to come into our low cobra. Give me some jazz hands. If you don't have any issues with your lower back, or SI issues or anything like that, you can come into Sphinx, which is placing your forearms on the floor, your elbows are under your shoulders, you're drawing your tummy in, and you're lengthening that front body and looking in front of you. You can aim to look slightly up, but try not to create tension in your neck. Cobra is a really good one to help strengthen your back. So it's a good one to practice regardless. Sphinx is more about flexibility, so work with what you need today. Everybody lowering down to the floor. Now you can use your forearms, curl your toes under, lift your bum, or you can try toes curled under, hands under our shoulders, nice big spread fingers, lift your bum, and lift the rest of you as you come back, bringing your weight back over your feet and up into your downward dog. Thinking about nice, so you're rooting into your hands like a cat, clawing into your hands, sending your weight back over your hips and your hips up towards the ceiling. It doesn't matter if your knees are bent, it's perfectly okay. It's more important to have a nice long back than to be arched over with straight legs. So bend your knees, send your weight back and up. Everybody lowering to our knees, bringing our right foot forward, pressing into that right foot. So on your in-breath, sweeping your hands back. On your out-breath, coming into your low lunge. Again, drawing that right hip back, left hip forward, and leveling them off. So you're drawing left hip up, right hip down. And you can raise your arms, thinking about drawing your shoulder blades together, drawing your lower tummy in. Keep on breathing, unclench your jaw. On your out breath, pressing into that front foot, coming over, curl your back toes under, lift your back knee, step to the front of your mat, sinking your tailbone as you uncurl all the way up to standing. Lovely. We'll do that once more. So nice breath in. On your breath out, folding forward. Weight into our left foot as we step back with our right, lowering our right knee. On your breath in, sweeping our hands back. So we make sure our knee is over our ankle. Should have mentioned that. Knee is over your ankle. Adjust if you need to. I prefer your knee not to be forward or too far back. This helps to strengthen everything. So on your breath in, sweeping your hands back. On your breath out, into your Cobra or your low lunge. Knee is over ankle. Reaching up. And think about turning your wee fingers in. Reaching up. What are your hips doing? Have you squared them off? Keep on breathing. Drawing your shoulder blades together. On your next out breath, pressing into that front foot, folding forward, bringing that left knee back. We're going to try one other way to lower down. So I'm in my table, but my hands are slightly in front of my shoulders. I am bringing my weight forward over my shoulders. I'm tucking into my lower belly, so I'm engaging that tuck, sending my tailbone down, and then gently lowering with as much control as possible to the floor. So that's a modified chaturanga. Now, again, pressing your pelvis into the floor. Let's everybody come into our low cobra. Give me some jazz hands. Draw those shoulder blades together, pressing your pelvis into the floor. And then if you like, into your Sphinx. So our arms, our elbows are beneath our shoulders, forearms on the floor, drawing your lower tummy in. Drawing your shoulders away from your ears. And then gently lowering down to the floor. Hands under shoulders or forearms on the floor. Press your forehead into the floor. Curl your toes under. Lift your bum. And then the rest of you, as you come back into your downward dog. And just walking your dog and finding a moment of stillness. It doesn't matter if your knees are bent. Your heels could be very far from the floor. You do you. Drawing your shoulder blades together, looking towards your belly button. Engage into your lower belly. Big sunflower hands. Everybody lowering down. Bringing our right foot forward. Knee over ankle. Pressing your weight into that right foot. As you sweep your hands back on your in-breath. And sinking into that front knee on your out breath. What are your hips doing? Drawing those shoulder blades together. Keep on breathing. On your out breath, folding forward, curl your back toes under, lift your back knee, step your foot to the front of the mat, and we're going to curl all the way up to standing. Lovely. So let's go into our warrior two sequence, stepping back with your right foot as far back as you're able, adjust if you need to. My left heel is in line with my right arch. I'm making sure I don't lock my knees, so there's a nice softness in my knees. Drawing that right hip in, so I'm leveling my hips off and engaging into those muscles. So you'll notice if I draw that right hip in, everything squares off that wee bit, so feel that in your hips. And we're going to warm up our knee and our hip. So we're bending, again, knee is over ankle, straightening. And we're going to bend again, keeping that right hip drawn in, and straighten, and bend once more. You may need to adjust your feet to give yourself some room as we warm up. You need more room on the mat. So, knees over ankle, making sure you're drawing that left knee out so it's not rolling in. Drawing it out, you'll feel that warming up into your thighs. That right edge of the right foot, so the back edge of your right foot, ground down into that. Keeping that bent, drawing that hip in. Pat your head, rub your tummy. It's okay. So we're now bringing our arms into it. So thumbs into our armpits. Stick your elbows out. You'll notice they're not in line with the long edge of your mat. They're in line with your hips. Okay? It's very important that you follow your hips. And straightening our arms. Draw those shoulders away from your ears. Looking out over your middle finger. And you should be nice and square over your hips, still drawn into the back edge of your right foot. You notice my arms aren't square to the mat, because if I do that, it kind of is forcing my right knee or my left knee to drop in. So that left knee is drawing out. My arms are in line with my hips. I'm drawing that right hip in. Keep on breathing. This is lovely to have strength in our hips. Get those thighs working. Strengthen our body. One more breath. Lovely. On your next breath out, we're straightening that left leg, pivoting, and then you can toe heel your hips together and have a bit of a dance and have a bit of a shake. Now we're going to do it with our left. So I'm going to come to this edge of my mat so I can show you. So breath in. On your out breath, stepping back with your left foot as far back as you're able. Right heel is in line with my left arch. Softness in my knees. Draw that left hip in. Feel that start to engage. This is your mula bandha, your perineum, drawing in and up. And we're going to warm into our right knee. So we're going to bend and straighten. As we bend, my knee is coming over my ankle. I'm still drawing into the back edge of my left foot. And straighten. You want to think about engaging into your tummy as well. And bend. And straighten. And once more, we're going to bend and stay there. So making sure you're thinking about drawing that right knee out. It's not collapsing in. You're square over your hips. Your torso is nice and square, so you're not tilting forward. Square off. So draw that left hip in really strongly. You're drawing in and up. Right knee is rolling out. So you're not allowing it to collapse in. Drawing out. Bringing our arms into it. Thumbs into our armpits. Stick your elbows out. And straightening. Stroke the nearby foliage. Shoulders are away from ears. Your arms are level, so check what your back arm is doing. And are you still grinding into that left back edge? Soften those shoulders. Unclench your jaw. One more breath. And on your out breath, straightening that right leg. And we're going to pivot and walk them in together. Have a wee shake. And now we're going to bring in our reverse and our extend. So, back to the front of your mat, stepping back with your right. We're not going to hang about too much. Making sure you're not locking your knees. We're going to bend into that left knee. Knee is over ankle. Right hip drawing in. Right edge of our right foot drawing down. And we're bringing our arms up. And we're going to flip our left hand over. Reach forward to create a bit of space. Up. Lengthening that left side body. Keeping the left knee bent. And reversing back. So this is a reverse warrior. You're still bending into that left knee. And you can look under your armpit. Think about drawing your shoulder blades together. Keep on breathing. And on your out breath, coming forward, warrior two, and into our extended. So lengthening up the right side, reaching up and over. Our left arm is resting lightly on our left thigh. So you're not just collapsing into it. Draw that left shoulder away from your ear, resting lightly. And reaching forward with your right hand. So you have a nice line up your side body. Draw those shoulder blades together. You can look under your right armpit. You're rooting down into the right edge of your right foot, the outside edge. You're still breathing. It's okay. And on your out breath, coming back up, pivoting that foot and toe heel together. I think that's becoming one of my favourite bits, the wee toe heel together. And we're going to repeat on the other side. So giving your legs a good old shake, loosening them out again. I've had a week of not doing loads of yoga, and even I am finding this a bit strong. So I hope you're all okay at home. Reaching into that right foot, stepping back with our left. Making sure your right heel is in line with your left arch. And we're going to make sure our knees are nice and soft. Drawing your shoulders away from your ears. Bending into that right knee. Left hip is drawing in. Remember, right knee is going to stay bent the whole time. So knees over ankle. Bringing our arms up and out. Flipping your right hand as you reach forward, up and back into your reverse. Is your right knee still bent? Your left hand is resting lightly. You're not collapsing onto it. It's resting lightly. You should be able to shake it and move it away. Are your toes clenching? Is your jaw clenched? So you're lengthening that right side body. Knee is staying bent. Drawing the right knee out. Left edge of your left foot is drawing down. Keep on breathing. On your in breath into your warrior two, and on your out breath into our extended. So rooting into that left foot, the left edge, lengthening that side body, drawing your shoulder blades together. Right forearm is only resting lightly. Remember, we're not collapsing down. So draw the shoulders away from ears. You should be able to take your arm off if the temptation is too strong to just collapse. Lengthening that side body. You can look under your armpit to help draw those shoulder blades together. Open up the chest. And everybody reversing back into your warrior two. Hands to hips. Straightening and then pivot. Bringing your feet together. Giving your legs a good old shake. So, now we're going to do something new and fun, I think. Depending how thick your carpet is or your mat or wherever, you may prefer to do this on the ground. See how you go, but we're going to balance. We're going to try our tree. So, let's start with some basics. Step onto your right foot. So I'm literally stepping forward onto my right foot. You notice I'm just stepping forward, peeling my left foot off, drawing my right hip in, and I'm just picking my foot up off the floor and stepping back. Then I'm going to repeat that on the left. Step onto my left, draw my left hip in, peel my right foot off the floor, picking my right foot off, and stepping back. Okay, pretty good, pretty good. We're going to do that again. So stepping onto your right, draw that right hip in, peel your left foot off, and you're going to bring your knee up in front of you. And then bringing it back. Moving slowly, taking your time. We're going to step onto our left. Peel your right foot off, draw that left hip in, and bending that right knee in front of you. Draw that tummy in, and lowering down again. Now, if you're struggling at this point, I want you to keep practicing that, and keep practicing your balance. If you're happy enough, we're going to try our tree. So step onto your right foot and peel your left foot off the floor. Now you can place your left foot, your toes are on the floor, your heel is pressing lightly against your shin. So try this tree. There's a lot of T's going on here. Try it. Keep drawing that right hip in into your tummy. Help to stabilize you. Don't lock your standing knee. As soon as you lock your standing knee, you're preventing movement, and your body needs to have a little bit of a wiggle about to keep you balanced. So don't lock your standing knee. Draw that right hip in, and this can be your tree. Or you can move your foot to your shin. So you're pressing your foot into your shin, and your shin is resisting back. So you've got that push from both sides going. That helps to stabilize, and it helps keep you steady, steady-ish. Keep drawing that hip in, tummy, tailbone. And if this is where you're at today, fantastic. You stay here and you practice and you get strong. You do you, remember? It's your home practice, and it's your practice full stop. So always listen to your body. If you would like to, you can try bringing your foot up. If your balance is pretty solid, You can bring your foot up higher. Please never place your heel on your knee. It's not the joint, it's not made for it, and you could cause yourself damage basically. So bring your foot up higher. You can think about pressing into your thigh and your thighs pressing back into your foot. You can happily keep your hand there to help and keep that resistance, or you can try taking your hands away. And this is where your tree is. You can bring your hands together. Keep breathing. And if you fall out of it repeatedly, that's grand. That's perfectly okay. You can step back into it. You keep practicing. These things don't magically happen. Everybody, wherever you're at, placing your left foot back on the floor, give your right foot a good old shake. Loosen it all out again. And we're going to try that on the left. Magic. So stepping onto your left foot, peeling your right foot off the floor. Remember our stages. So you're thinking about drawing the left hip in. So that engages there. Drawing your tummy in. And you can place your toes lightly on the floor and rest your heel against your shin. You're still drawing in and up. You're not just collapsing down into it. Draw in and up. And you practice your balance here. Really, really good. You can try placing your foot on your shin. Sometimes this can be stronger for people than resting it on their thigh because there's not as much resistance in that particular area. So you can't feel a strong resistance of your thigh. So still think about pushing your shin and your foot into your shin so you've got that push back from both sides, helping keep your foot up. You should feel this on the outside of your thighs as well and into your bum too, so good for your thighs and your legs, everybody. Or if you would like, we can try bringing our right foot up, remembering to avoid our knee. Right foot up as far as you're able, pressing into your thigh, and your thigh is pressing back. Drawing that left hip in. Make sure you're not locking your left knee. Allow that bit of movement. You can bring your hands together or you can have your hands out. Drawing your tummy in and up. Soften those shoulders. Soften your face. It's okay. Try not to clench your teeth. Relax. It's okay. It's easier if you smile sometimes. And you keep breathing. And you just keep on trying. If you have fallen out of it, that's grand. Come back and try again. Keep on going. Everybody, bringing that right foot back down to the floor. Walk your hips out. Give them a bit of a shake. Loosen everything up again. You did really, really well. And as a reward, we're going to come down to the floor. So let's flow. Breath in. On your breath out, folding forward, hands to the floor, and you can bring your knees to the floor. Sweep them to one side as you roll onto your bum. Now, let's do our cobbler. It's a nice way to loosen things up a wee bit, I find. Your feet are together, soles of your feet together. Now, if you're bringing your feet in here, notice my knees are going all the way up. Don't want that. It's better, more beneficial for you to have your feet a wee bit further away to allow your knees to soften and to open up. And some days you're able to bring your feet in closer and they soften more. Our bodies change on a regular basis. Pay attention to you. Forget about what anybody else is doing. So your feet are in front of you, soles together, sitting up nice and tall. You can have a wee rock onto your sit bones. You might need to move your bum out of the way. Make sure you can feel your sit bones rooting down. We're just going to take a moment, sit up nice and tall, and see if you can use your out breath to let go of any tension in your legs, to release those muscles that have just been working really hard to keep you balanced. Softening your shoulders. And now with a flat back, so I'm aiming to keep my back as flat as possible to start, okay? So draw those shoulder blades together. Trying to generate the movement from your hips and from your pelvis. You're tilting forward and you're looking towards your toes or just in front. Nice long neck. So my back is as flat as I can make it. I'm using my elbows to help my knees lower. I'm not forcing them down. It's just a wee bit of extra weight. And I'm going to just reverse a wee bit so my feet are on the mat. There we go. So I'm drawing my shoulders away from my ears, my shoulder blades together. You notice my hands have come up my shins a bit, so I'm not holding onto my feet, which might cause me to arch my back. Draw my shoulder blades together, flattening my back, tilting forward a bit. This helps to stretch into our groin, and it can help with our outer hips as well, but it's mostly on the inside. And you can have a gentle rock, very, very gentle. I'm just having a gentle rock from side to side, helpful to loosen my hips and softening up. And now I'm allowing myself to arch over and to soften, allowing my head to come over and releasing to the floor. Coming all the way back up. Going to twist. So left foot out, right foot in. Both sit bones should stay down for this as well. And I want you to think nice and long with your spine. So as if somebody has that thread. If you need to, you may use a wee block or a book or whatever you have to hand to help open up that space. You might need to move your foot slightly further away. Investigate, have a play around. Now is the time. So sitting up nice and tall, taking my left hand and wrapping it around my right leg. So that's left arm around right leg. Right thumb up in front of me, and I'm following that thumb around behind me and resting it gently on the floor, not collapsing down into my right hand. You can think about pressing into that right hand to help you straighten, and then placing it on the floor or on your lower back. So use your breath in to help you sit up nice and tall, and your breath out to rotate. Continuing to look over that right shoulder, your body will follow where your eyes are looking. Keep on breathing. And on your next in-breath, coming back to center, straightening that right leg, sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to take a wee bit of a forward fold. So again, making sure your sit bones are rooting down. My knees aren't locked. You notice if I lock my knees, my heels come off the floor. Soften those knees. And I'm going to keep my back flat. So are you. So draw your shoulder blades together, chest is nice and open, and you're walking your hands forward slightly. And we're lengthening up our entire body. So you're aiming to keep the shoulder blades together, keep your back as flat as you're able. So don't just do this. Keep looking in front of you. Flexing your feet towards you. So this is a nice strong stretch into your hamstrings. Soften your knees. And coming back up. We're going to repeat our twist on the other side. So left foot flat on the floor, wrapping with my right arm. Left thumb up, so breath in to sit up nice and tall, and on your breath out you're twisting, following your thumb. And again, you can use that left arm to help you sit up nice and tall, that left hand pressing into the floor. And gently continue your twist on your out breath. Keep on breathing, soften your shoulders. And on your in-breath, coming back to center, you can cross your legs and just gently folding forward, allowing your head to drop. Have a nice sway if you like. Now, let's lower ourselves to the floor. So, feet on the floor, hands on the back of our thighs, but try not to grip. Let's see if we can use a wee bit of core strength to lower down. Tucking our pelvis under and gently lowering all of the way down to the floor. Arms are out in a nice T. You can walk your feet in, and we're going to gently lower inch by inch to the right. So you're going to lower your legs a wee bit and then bring them back to center And then again, allowing your knees to lower a wee bit more. And then back to center. And a bit more. Back to center. Continuing this movement. Back to center. And slowly allowing your knees to release as close to the floor as they're able. Maybe you have a bolster at home you can use to pop under your knees. Or some blocks or some books. You can look over your left shoulder. Releasing as much tension as you're able. Gently scan your legs. Maybe there's something that can let go. Slow your breath. And everybody bringing your knees back to center, giving them a wee hug, have a wee roll around. You can even lift your head to your knees and give yourself a squeeze. And release. Feet back to the floor, arms out. And we're going to repeat that on the left. So lowering, and then back to center. And then lower a wee bit more. Back to center. And once more, just continuing to gradually work your way towards the floor. One little bit at a time. And everybody releasing all the way to the left. And you can turn to look out over your right shoulder. Now scan your legs, scan your body. Is there anything you can release and soften? Using your out breath to let go. Just taking a few moments. Slowing your breath. And now bringing your knees back to center. One more hug. And releasing all the way down into your Shavasana. So you might need something under your knees. Or you can try pushing your right heel into the floor and sending it along your mat to straighten. And then your left. This helps create a wee bit of length in your lower back. And then releasing, allowing your feet to flop out. Draw your shoulder blades under if that's comfortable and allow your palms to face the ceiling or the sky. Softening your jaw. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable. Softening your shoulders. Releasing your arms and your hands and your fingers. Just notice how you're feeling. Maybe you're feeling a bit looser and a bit more relaxed. Feeling your tummy expand as you breathe in and soften as you breathe out. Using that lovely out breath to let go of anything you're holding on to. That might be emotional, that might be physical. Just let it out, letting go. Feeling your hips sink into the floor and feel that support holding you. releasing your legs, your feet, your toes. Noticing any sound you might hear outside of your room, or if you are outside, notice any bird song, the leaves blowing in the breeze. Notice any sounds you might hear inside your room or nearby. And notice any sounds you hear inside of you. Gently releasing all of the sounds, releasing your attention, and just taking a few quiet moments to let your practice absorb. Thank you very much for joining today. I hope you're keeping well. I'm thinking of you all. Look after yourselves, and I will see you again soon. Namaste.